All right, the next question goes to Kevin, and this is going to be our last question, by the way. We're not going to have an overtime because we don't have any other questions laying there. We're just about out of time. This one starts off interestingly. It says, as it is, you believe Caledonia is sustainable. And I'm going to interpret that to mean if we don't change anything, is Caledonia sustainable? Whoever submitted that question, I hope I interpreted that correctly. But without any changes, is Caledonia sustainable?
No.
Interesting. You want to say anything to that?
Well, you know, you said that.
You got 60 seconds to do it, but that's the question. And you answered it very well. Okay, so.
Well, that's what you want, was yes.
That's right. That's right.
And we're not. You know, we talked, you know, all of us have said something one way or the other that we have to bring something else in here. We want to bring in something either existing and maintain that existing for, to help us maintain where we are, or we want to bring something new in here to help us maintain and maybe do a few additional things. We've got a number of, for being on the board for 10 years, going through budgets where we sat there and we would, you know, rip our hair out. I don't have much hair, but we rip our hair out just trying to go through the budget, figure out where we are at and what we could get, you know, what we'd have to do, and for the next year, if we were going to be so detrimental this year. And so if we don't keep on going where we're, you know, moving ahead a little bit, and getting some additional business in here or whichever in certain areas, then we aren't sustainable.
Okay, I got that. I think that's a good answer. In other words, Caledonia is not going to exist as it is without some changes. It's not nice to change. We're going to have to change.
Well, if I can say one thing real quick, because Tom was, you know, going to confuse me over that sign. But no, you've got commercial business. Commercial business is about 30–40% of their taxes go for services. Okay, so the rest of that's you know, the
that's fine.
A plus. Whereas in a household is about 120%. So you're in a deficit there. So surplus deficit, which do you want? We got a lot of everything else.
Richard, go ahead. Your next 60 seconds is yours.
That's a very good question. I don't have the experience that my friend here has, and so I guess that question, I guess I'm not prepared to answer the question. I don't have enough knowledge of the village at this time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Robert?
Sustainable, I would say, yes, we can limp along. And that's what we'll be doing, limp along. Until 41% of our property tax goes to unified school district. And I think that's one of the big issues we haven't even talked about at all. What's going on with the school system and how are we going to bring people into Caledonia? Until we're ready to address that failure, as a board, that should be a board responsibility as well, is to create dialogue with unified school district and see what their direction is going. I think once we clear up some of these issues, get some business out here, I think we'll be doing much better, but I think we'll just limp along for a while. But I don't want to lose sight of unified school district either, because it's still killing me.
Thank you.
Value went down, taxes went up.
Got it. Okay. Ron, go ahead.
I agree with Kevin. No is the answer. We will not survive. The reason why I look at it is the state has cut cities, villages, and towns financials coming, revenue sharing, took a big impact. Money for roads has been a big cut. It just put a burden on the villages. As I sit here, again, as what I've heard through all my colleagues here up here, indicate that we need development. That's the key here. If we don't get development and we stay stagnant, eventually you're going to throw the keys in the floor and shut up because we won't have the village of Caledonia. And I know everybody looks at me and says, oh, that's not true, but look at what's happening. We're struggling so hard. As Kevin said, because of the budget, we went through it several times to keep on doing cuts. We're just doing too many. We can't cut no more. And we're at the bottom. We've got to get some commercial growth there. If we don't, we're going to die. And we don't have money to give away. We just don't have it. And that's what it's saying.
Thank you. Finish up with you, David.
Well, I'm optimistic, and I agree with Bob. I hope we can move along. You know, there are a lot of things that put a us in a bad spot right now as far as the economy. You know, like many of you, I received a letter too. Our property values went down 40. I heard people saying $40,000 to $60,000 down in your property value. Who would have ever thought that when you invested in your real estate that you'd be taking a hit like that today? You know, so that is a problem too. And you know, I've heard we've tried to hold the line on taxes, but even though that the property values have went down, the actual taxes we've paid has not. Like a lot of people, when I go to the doors, they say, well, my property value dropped $40,000, but my taxes went up, you know, $100,000. How can that be? So, is there an easy fix to that? No, but I do think with development, if we can get some new development in, get a tax base with business, I think that will give some relief to the homeowners.
Okay, thank you very much. That completes the question and answer period. We're going to finish off the forum now with closing. 1 minute.